kindly let me pass? I need to clear out my desk.
I heard you resigned.
Yeah, well, word gets around, doesn't it?
You sure you want to do that?
I don't have anything to say to you. You know what? Actually, yes, I do. I have a question for you, assuming that you're capable of giving me an honest answer.
Can we at least do this in my office?
No. No, this is the perfect place for it. I mean, why be discreet at this point? Seems like everybody else knows my business except for me. Hey, George. When did you find out that my husband was still alive? And what about you, Pete? When did you get clued in? It's pretty juicy stuff, right?
I gotta go.
See ya. Don't do this.
I was just asking some questions. I have a question for you. But brace yourself, because it's going to be a tough one.
Go on.
What were you going to do if you never got Carlo Hesser's confession? You're just going to keep me in the dark about Christian for the rest of our lives.
I was trying to honor the promise that I made to Cris.
Don't blame him for this.
I'm not.
This is about you. About your decisions, about your conscience, if you even have one.
I have one. It tore me apart keeping this from you.
Are you wanting me to feel sorry for you now?
Not for a minute.
How could you get involved with me knowing that my husband was still alive?
I didn't plan it. I didn't plan getting involved with you. But when it happened, the minute it happened, I went and saw Cris, and I told him all about it, and I gave him every opportunity in the world to tell you the truth.
See, that's where you went wrong. You went to Christian and not me. So the two of you could decide who was going to have me. Is that it?
It wasn't like that.
Let me ask you a question. How did you decide my fate? Flip a coin?
Everything.
I understand that you're angry. I deserve it. But I got stuck in the middle of something, and there was no easy way out of it.
Very touching.
Hey. I know you don't want to hear this, and it doesn't change anything. But I thought about telling you about 1,000 times. I even came close a couple. But every time I started, you made it perfectly clear you didn't want to hear about ghosts and demons. And at the end of the day, I made Cris that promise. And I felt like I owed it to him, even though I knew none of this would turn out right. Now I know I hurt you, and I probably ruined whatever we had between us. I'm gonna have to live with that. Somehow. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm sorry, Natalie.
Are you asking for my forgiveness? Because you're not getting it. I do not forgive you for what you did to me. And I never will. Oh, and by the way, I changed my mind. I'm not quitting. Because if anyone should be too ashamed to show their face around here, it's you.
I'm not quitting either.
Just as well. Then you're not off the hook. You'll have to come into work every day to see my face and know how much I hate you. Because I do. I hate you. And I always will. I want to see Christian Vega now. I'm his wife. It'll be quick.
Hit your head. Did you have a doctor look at it?
Don't get all protective on me now. I'm just here to ask you a few questions.
I'll tell you anything I can.
Why in the world would you want me to believe that you were some monster named John Doe? And why would you get John McBain to back you up?
McBain knew before I did. It wasn't like we had some...
I've heard it from him and from Evangeline, and they're very logical people. Cops and lawyers, they typically are. But see, I'm not. And you should know that better than anyone because you were my husband, Christian.
I never thought I'd hear you say my name again.
No, because you wanted me to think of you as John Doe.
I thought I was setting you free, Natalie. I thought I was doing what was best for you.
So then you just changed your mind? Decided to come back from the dead again? Tell me, Mr. Vega, who was that best for?
I wasn't keeping anything from you at first. When I got to Lineview, I didn't know who I was. That's how this John Doe came about.
Why?
Because Carlo Hesser got inside my head and made me think that.
How did he do that?
You don't want to know.
Keep talking.
When I said to you that night I was arrested about how much I loved you even though I wasn't your husband.
Believe me, I remember.
That was the truth as I knew it.
When did you first find out who you really were?
McBain did this DNA test right before I went away. He said the results showed that I was Christian Vega. And it was like this door opened all of a sudden. It all just came back.
And it didn't occur to you or either one of you to say something to me?
I wanted you to remember me the way I was, Natalie, and go on with your life. I was looking at a life stretch. I didn't want to watch you growing old through the bars of a prison. I love you too much. So I made McBain promise to keep his mouth shut. Even after he told me the two of you were together.
That explains a lot of the conversations I've had with John in the last few months. I stopped mourning for you and fell in love with the one person who knew you weren't dead. Was that part of your little plan, too?
I know you're mad and hurt. But do you think I'd ever try to set you up with another guy? Do you think I'd even want to think about you with someone else?
Maybe that wasn't fair.
I never wanted to hurt you.
But you did. What I went through with Carlo and what I went through with Hayes Barber, that was just physical pain. Nothing in comparison to the way you've hurt me.
I was trying not to hurt you. I was trying to let you go. I love you too much.
Stop saying that!
You know, in prison, I used to put myself to sleep every night thinking about you. The way you sleep with one arm under your pillow. The way you look in that nightgown I gave you for your birthday.
Stop.
Sometimes I'd be dreaming about you, and I'd wake up expecting you to be there beside me. And there'd be nothing but a stone wall. So if you think any of this was easy for me...
I should have had a choice.
Okay. Maybe I was selfish. Maybe I didn't want you thinking about me like some kind of killer. Kind of like you're looking at me now.
What made you change your mind about your little plan?
Evangeline told me I had a shot at getting out of prison. And I started to think that maybe you and I could have a future again. That I could be the man you fell in love with. You wouldn't be so angry if you didn't still love me.
I scream. The cops will come running right in here.
John Doe is dead, Natalie. But Christian Vega, he's very much alive.
That wasn't fair.
Maybe not. But it told me that nothing's really changed.
You think you stick your tongue down my throat and you can tell me how I'm feeling?
Okay. So tell me, how are you feeling?
You should have leveled with me the minute John told you who you really were.
I already explained that. It took me months to figure out what happened.
But I could have helped you with that. My God, my family could have gotten you the best lawyers in the world, the best doctors. I mean, that is what, for better or for worse, is supposed to be about, right?
Yes.
The best part, what I love the most, is the one person you opened up to was John's ex-girlfriend?
Oh, wait a minute. Evangeline came to me, and she knew everything already. I didn't have to tell her a thing. And then she started talking about having grounds for an appeal, and I started to think about us. Especially after I found out that Carl Hesser was the one who programmed me. Natalie, for the first time in a really long time, I had hope.
Shut up.
Look, you could blame John, Evangeline, me all you want. But if it wasn't for Carlo Hesser, none of this would have happened. The guy's in solitary, miles away, and I look at you and I see that he's still running our lives. Please, just remember what we had.
What we had is dead, Christian. As dead as John Doe, and as dead as I feel inside.